And chat, how's it going, guys? Welcome to Metal Gear Solid 3. Um, okay, so, anybody who's been following on the YouTube channel or the Twitch for the past year or so has seen that I've been playing the Metal Gear Solid series from the beginning for a patron. I played Metal Gear Solid 1 last year, I played Metal Gear Solid 2 earlier this year, and now we're starting Metal Gear Solid 3. I am playing the PS2 version because I've owned it for forever, and I might as well. We considered waiting until the remake came out later this year, but that would have been expensive for the patron to get me, so we decided to just play the original version. I am partially spoiled on this game. I know the main character is not Solid Snake. He's Big Boss, the guy Snake was cloned from. I know that the game takes place in, I think, the 70s? In the middle of the Cold War. I know about the 3-minute long ladder climb set to a song. And I know about the old guy who, if you wait a couple hours in his boss fight, will just keel over from old age. So I'm spoiled on a few things. But I don't know a ton. From what I'm told, this game controls way better than Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. Which would be nice, because I didn't really vibe with the controls of Metal Gear Solid 1 or 2. Mostly 1. 2 was better. It's hardly a spoiler. Everyone figured out who the protagonist was as early as the first trailer. Fair enough. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at for Metal Gear Solid 3. Oh yeah, and you have to eat and you have to manage camouflage or something. Snake versus monkey? What? Alright, let's check the options, make sure subtitles and stuff are on. Oh right, X is cancel in the Metal Gear Solid games. Whoops. Vibration on, blood on, Dolby on, captions on, own view normal. First person, huh? Screen adjustment, brightness adjustment. Okay, everything's good. It was a playable crossover with Ape Escape? What? Well, that's inappropriate for the tone of this game. Ape Escape, huh? I'll have to check that out later. Alright, let's get started. Is this choosing how it'll control, or is this difficulty? Actual question. It's only important for one scene and doesn't affect the game otherwise. Well, I liked Metal Gear Solid 1's story more than 2's, so let's go with I like Metal Gear Solid 1. You suggest Metal Gear Solid 2? Well, my instinct is to pick Metal Gear Solid 1. The patron also wants me to pick Metal Gear Solid 2. Alright, well, we'll pick that. Difficulty normal. After the end of World War
II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called
Oh,
the Cold
he's
War.
voiced by... he's voiced by David Hayter. Cool. Konami Computer Entertainment Japan presents a Hideo Kojima game. Brian Cummings, huh? Kojima wanted Kurt Russell to voice Snake in this game.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
Well, David Hayter is synonymous with Snake. Oh no, I'm thinking of Jim Cummings, not Brian Cummings.
Right.
Whoops.
You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector.
Yes,
Put on your mask.
smoking around oxygen tanks is a very bad idea.
Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Depressurization complete.
Ow, excuse me, choked on
6 minutes to drop off.
nothing.
Opening
Ow.
rear hatch.
Excuse me. Why are you opening the hatch with 6 minutes to go?
Sunrise.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
Minus 46 Celsius? Where are you, Siberia?
At 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout bottle.
This is one for the history books. The world's first Halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand
Okay,
by.
that was pretty cool. Putting out the
Status
cigar
okay? All
as it
green.
rolls back.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
Oh, do I get to play the drop? That would be cool. Excuse me. Pretty sure you're not supposed to do spins as you fall. Hideo Kojima.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission.
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission. Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB-754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
Well, that's a little
The very
reductive, Snake, but
On
yes.
April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok.
I thought it was
rocket.
pronounced Gagarin.
Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. We used a mole to get the family out first, and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern
Excuse
side
me.
was still full of holes back then. Then what?
I mean,
We got
it was
Sokolov
full
over
of
in
holes
one
for the
piece.
entire
whole
Cold
ordeal
War.
Left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets...
lots of
were in the
history
process of
lessons
deploying
today.
intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov, I'll bet.
Sokolov.
Yep.
They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we
Is
had no
Sokolov a real person?
President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand.
Did this actually happen?
The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my side. Then, a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision.
Oh, is this where Metal Gear
More.
comes from?
It's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
It was made up for this
No.
game. Gotcha.
Missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selino-Yarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance.
I'm sure he'll be
Sokolov must
real
have
happy
known
to see
that he
us.
contacted us.
Oh, he contacted us. Huh. Man, this would be nerve-wracking. I could never go skydiving.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the West. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis.
On R1, you can go to first
The
person?
clock is ticking.
Oh, and prompted, okay. I didn't see the prompt. Did I miss it?
Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the
There we
balloon
go.
to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as two 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
Oh, do I have a time limit for this
If anything
game?
goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Do parachutes often have lines of holes in them like that? Time is fake. Well, that was a dramatic landing. Oh, it's mirroring his pose when he turns off the camo in Metal Gear Solid 2. Blonde, huh? Oh, is this a fake out where he's wearing a Raiden mask? Woo, whoops. Oh, this is off to a great start. 5 seconds after getting control. Time something. Time P's. Time PSR. Oh. Time Paradox. Time Paradox. Interesting. That's first person. Okay, right stick looks around. Cool. Let's not go south, where there is death. Okay, X is still get on your knees and crawl. I'm trying to... Okay, you have to press X again to get up. Okay, I'm not supposed to go this way. Ah, here we go.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory. Somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a
Oh
choice.
yeah, I
What
gotta
about
eat
you,
stuff.
Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom.
Oh, cute.
Oh, and Snake.
Yeah,
The crew isn't watching anymore. You can take off the disguise now.
good idea. This isn't right. Time for the snake to shed his skin.
Yep, it was a fake out. Did they have the earpiece microphone technology in 1964?
Can you hear me, Major Tom? This is Snake. Kept you waiting, huh?
This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and
The
equipment...
debut
secure
of
on
Foxhound.
site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to...
It's going to be a 4-hour mission. You'll be
You've been issued a
fine.
knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical
Oh,
supplies. in
you
your
want him
backpack.
to eat meat full of
Yeah,
tranquilizer?
Backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see.
Silence.
Well, you better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship.
I forgot to close my window. Whoops.
140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
All right, one sec. Okay, let's find this tree. All right, D-pad sneaks. Tree covered in ivy. Is it over here? Probably not. Ah, there it is. Ah, triangle's the action button.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake.
How did you see that?
To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission.
I mean, I
After you've
assume.
been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out.
And I assume you have to
Cover
eat
lost
stuff.
stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy
I am
territory
not
is
cleaning
a
up my
violation
own
of
crap if I
international
take a
conventions
dump.
of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule.
Yeah, but you said mine was
Tape it to your
fake.
body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Wait,
Take
presumably.
the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
Do I only have the one pill?
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
The real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance.
Only this
First
time,
member of
huh?
The support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real
That's...
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
name? My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I thought you were talking about...
Tell you my name only
Just
if you
talking about
understand
not telling
exactly
anybody
why.
your names.
My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's
That
one
was a
more
weird
person
pause.
I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Huh.
Speaking of snakes, remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Bosses?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me.
Story
Let me
reunion.
hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
Spoken like somebody who was in
You
love
lost
with her.
weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
That's not how it works, boss.
Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
About love.
I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier?
Scroll
I
with the
can't
D-pad
teach
to
you
learn your
that.
contact's bios?
A soldier needs to be strong in spirit,
Oh.
body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit.
That's
Politics
not
is
how
what
it
you
really
face
works.
On the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They
That's
change
not how you
along
get
with
unit
time.
cohesion.
Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why.
Also not
But you're
true.
looking for a reason to fight. You are a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies.
The
and
U.S.
no
military
friends.
makes a big
Only
deal about training
ownership.
people to
You
refuse,
follow the orders you give.
refuse
That's
unlawful
what being a
orders
soldier is.
and
I do whatever
stuff
I
like
have to
that.
to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
like
It's
there's
not
a
the
whole
same thing.
culture of that.
Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
Tell it to me.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing.
Man, she is going on a whole screed.
As long as we have loyalty.
This is
to
Kojima
them,
speaking directly
there's
to
no
the
point in
camera.
believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think.
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit. A group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me.
1909.
And one more
God,
thing, boss.
Yes,
this was a long time
It's
ago.
good to hear your voice again.
same here. After all, who knows if either of us will
I
make
don't
it
like
out
these
alive.
audio skips.
You are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC. Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry.
The Green Berets
I'll be here to
practice
help you
CQC.
remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the Major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Uh-oh.
Gotcha.
Is something wrong with the
Your
disc or
mission
my
is to
PS2?
retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Well, I already found the punch button.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Okay, alright, 41 to 41. And I see the durability gauge has a bunch of segments, so I'm sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 durability. Alright, I've got my knife out. Tremuchis Swampland. Tremachis. Can I eat the butterflies? I want to eat the butterflies. It's a survival mission. I'll eat whatever I can get my hands on. I'm suddenly in first person? Oh no, I hear frogs. I'm gonna have to eat a frog later, aren't I? Oh, I'm sinking. Oh, shit! I just noticed that crocodile. Are you just gonna stand there? Oh, come on. Bug juice? Oh, another one. Oh, another one. They're all over the place. R Snake H. Okay. Look forward to Lore triggering World War III. It's gonna happen! Do binoculars come with
Major, I've
those
spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
caps on
They're
them?
probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
The call paramedics shall tell you about the species you encounter. Oh yeah, I meant to call them earlier. Oh, R1, right. I didn't even notice. I was looking at chat.
Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer. The Uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the Face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively.
Noted.
Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted.
Oh, like an
But
idiot.
if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed. You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the camo index. The camo index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value,
I see
the
a
harder
topless
you are to
snake.
spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Alright, let's do the survival menu. Let's see. Is it the start button? It is. Okay. Pick weapon and equipment to use. Oh, I have this directional mic already, huh? 3 of 8. Do I have to discard weapons if I pick up more than 8? Item 7 of 8. Total weight. I have to worry about weight? Not eaten yet. Taste unknown. Alright, what I got for camouflage? Woodland, okay. I threw away the Ryded mask. Why do I still have it? Okay, uniform. Naked! That's not very naked. I've got a lot of different options right off the bat. All right, let's call some people.
Snake, do you see any tufts of grass?
Yeah,
What kind
Yeah.
of grass?
just ordinary grass. Nothing special.
You should check it anyhow.
It's pretty thick grass, about waist high.
If you crawl into the grass, you can advance undercover. When you do, the camera automatically switches to intrusion view. If you want to stand up again, press and hold the crawl button once more.
I don't like
If
being
you
forced
press the
into
crawl
first person
button
in this
briefly,
game.
You'll crouch in that spot. This allows you to observe things without blowing your cover. Got it?
Yeah, but
But what?
Was that the only reason?
What do you mean?
You had me check it just so you could tell me that?
That's right. Pretty useful, huh?
Right.
Shall we carry on?
By all means.
Even when hidden in grass, if you make a noise, your enemies will locate you. When enemies are nearby, move with slight movements of the left analog stick.
Okay.
That way you can proceed with minimal disturbance.
Ah, okay. Okay, so there's different conversations based on the camo you're wearing? The more times you call someone, the more information slides you get for them. Okay? Well, let's wear some different camo then.
Sokolov should be at the abandoned factory to the north, so head in that direction.
Okay.
Sokolov should be at the abandoned...
You don't have the guy who comments on your outfits yet. Ah, okay. Well, let's talk to everybody then.
I see you caught yourself a reticulated python. The reticulated python is said to be the longest snake in the world. The biggest ones can grow up to 10 meters in length.
That's crazy.
Although they're not poisonous, they're still very dangerous, so be careful around them. They have a highly ferocious temperament, and they can swallow whole, even large animals like deer.
Well, the little one I found
Their
can't.
most distinguishing feature is the mesh pattern of their scales. This pattern acts as a highly effective natural camouflage. If you think there might be a reticulated python about, pay close attention to your surroundings. Otherwise, you could get bitten before you even know it's there. It's a huge snake, but you should be able to capture it alive by using the tranquilizer gun. I'll bet if you capture one and throw it at an enemy, it'll give him a good scare.
Okay, that's a cool trick.
Right. But how do they taste?
Huh?
Do they taste good?
You're actually going to eat one.
Why else would I be asking?
Cannibal.
What was that?
Cannibal?
Nothing. Let's see what the guide
Okay,
says.
fair.
Ah, you're in luck. It says they taste pretty good.
Good. I can hardly wait.
Not a fan of eating animals, are you, paramedic? I don't like these long waits while it loads
Camouflage is
audio.
an indispensable tool when you're sneaking through the jungle.
and the audio
To use
skips.
camouflage, first press the start button to go to the survival
I
mode.
think my disc might
Then
be
select camouflage and press the enter button. Select uniform
Might be a little
to select
scratched.
battle fatigues, and face to select face paint. Choose battle fatigues that match the surrounding environment. The most effective camouflage is attained by selecting fatigues that
Yeah. All right, let's save.
Saving the game?
Sure
Sam?
am. Okay, codename paramedic. 1936. She would be 87 years old today. Oh, she'd be 87 years old on Thursday, in fact. Remember when games took that long to save?
Hey, Snake, you ever heard of Godzilla, King of Monsters?
No. What is it?
How could you not have heard of Godzilla? It came out 9 years ago.
It's about this monster called Godzilla, who grows to an enormous size in a nuclear test and goes on a rampage in Tokyo.
Nuclear test, huh? Then the Marshall Islands must be crawling with giant monsters right about now.
It's just make-believe.
Yeah, no shit,
That's why my
paramedic.
pants have been so tight lately.
Snake, it's a movie, not a report out of Los Alamos.
Did he just make a joke about having a monster dog?
Godzilla is immune to all weapons, and humanity has no way to stop the monster. Dr. Shirazawa develops a new type of weapon, but meanwhile, Godzilla is getting closer and closer to Tokyo, obliterating everything in its path. It was originally a Japanese movie, but they made an American version.
Made an American version by
I
splicing in
recommend seeing the
American
original
footage
Japanese one if you get the
and
chance.
dubbing the Japanese.
It's mostly mindless fun, but it's also got a serious anti-nuke message as well.
Where can I see the original?
You'll just have to go to Japan.
Really? That's too bad.
Well, if you wait 40 years, you might be able to see it in America, too.
Why's that?
2004 will be Godzilla's 50th birthday.
You think they're still going to be making Godzilla movies then?
Of course. Everybody loves Godzilla.
You sure know a lot about movies.
I love
suppose you're
Godzilla
movie
too,
watching, are you?
Kojima,
Not
but
really.
this is a weird
I'll tell you
conversation.
everything I know. When the going gets tough, movies can save your life.
Oh, this is
It's always good to be able to.
this is
listen to
Kojima
good
speaking
voices
directly
and
into the
enjoy
camera
it.
again.
That's the magic of movies.
No kidding. Well, I guess it might at least make a nice distraction.
That's the spirit, Snake. Have a little fun.
All right, well, I'm going to take a quick break. I will be back in a few minutes. And then we will start our sneaking mission. Alright, I'm back. Alright, where are these soldiers? You have binoculars if you need them. Ah, I have 5 of them. I've already got them equipped, I guess. Ah, there we go. Oh, hey, a thing in the log. More bug juice. The crawling sounds keep coming in alternating ears, and it sounds like there's somebody walking behind me. Oh, there's a dude. Excuse me. Okay, where's this guy going? Is he just gonna fuck off in that direction? Here's hoping. Yes, I'm going to sit here and watch him make his rounds. All right. I guess that's the way I have to go. Oh, fuck. Well, started World War III. Oh, fuck. Alright, well, too late. Just end me. And we'll start over. I have a lot of health in this game.
Snake, do you read? Snake!
Major.
Snake, are you alright?
Yeah.
I'm not okay.
You're far from okay. Look at your life gauge. You're on your last leg.
No. I can still...
See?
Snake, this is a solo sneaking mission. Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Huh?
It means there's no backup, no cavalry. If you're taken out, nobody is there to take your place. Pull out
Is there a quitter in this series?
Find a hiding place.
There's nowhere to escape. You keep telling me to escape in this game, but there's nowhere to escape to. Alright, there's... I tried to get away from these places, and you just get hemmed in. You can't leave. There's infinite enemies. They chase you down. There's no escape. Especially since I'm surrounded by these guys. Like, there is nowhere I could go here to get away from these guys. So I might as well just wait for them to kill me and try again. Breaking line of sight and finding hiding places works wonders? I've tried that before. Oh. It reset aggro. Because it auto-saved. Alright. I've tried that before. And they just found me. How are we going to get past this asshole? Beehive above the tree, so there is.
Huh? What was that noise?
Alright, get hit by the bees. Get hit by the bees. It's not the beehive, it's the tan one to the right. That? Guess I'll wait for him to walk under it. No, to my left. Oh, there's two of them. Great. Is it just the PS2 graphics and the blur that's... Oh, I see it now. Okay. Well, that got one of them. Balls. Okay. He didn't see me when I was behind him. Okay. What the... The wind blew me off. Oh, no. Really? Really? You're just gonna...
Who's that?
Fuck.
What the?
I'm trying to break line of sight. Oh, hey, cutscene breaks line of sight.
Major, I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump. I can't see Sokolov from here. Security is pretty tight. There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder
What's that
if
flashing light on him?
inside.
Your objective, Sokolov, is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. Do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
Is it sorry?
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
This time around, not all guards have radios, so they have to flee the map or find someone who does. If they want backup, you can disable the radios by shooting them. Alright, cool. Alright, where's this guy? This guy's right here. Okay. Oh, the flashing light is his radio. Got it. Okay, let's change our camo then, I guess. That is not a lot of camo. No, I didn't mean to jump off. God damn it. Oh, balls. I got noticed. Fuck! This was a dead end. It's a dead end with ammo. Fuck. They're so fast! Oh, there's so many. This is just a dead end. This is just a dead end. Oh, maybe I can get out this window. It's barred.
Snake, what happened?
Alright. Oh, a snake. Hello, snake. Alright, where is this dude? There he is. Oh, I see the guy who spotted me. Alright. Is that guy topless? Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. What the? No, stand up! Stop snapping to the environment. Can't sneak while you're like this. Alright. Ow! Gee, I'm glad you don't get a game over for getting spotted like they implied you would. Oh, fuck.
I see him.
I hate these games. Whenever you see sideways barrels, you can use the action button to roll them at enemies. You can also shoot and explode them. Okay. Cool. Snake, get where you can move. Okay, thank you. Alright, so the ammo there is a trap. This is just a dead end. I have to go in here. Alright, whoop. Where's the guy? Okay. Oh no, he noticed me. Don't see me. Don't see me. Fuck! Alright, where the hell am I supposed... Nope, don't crouch. Where the hell am I supposed to go in here?
Major, I'm in front of Sokolov's.
Oh, that's where I'm supposed to go. Okay.
Hold on, Snake. What's the current condition?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
alerted.
What
Alright.
Alert.
Alright, well... Let's try this again. Okay, well, at least we know where we're going now. hole there. Okay, crawl through. Stop getting caught up on the environment. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, for fuck's sake, there's a guy right here. I was almost there. Ah. Where would you even go to lose these guys? What was that big explosion? Did they hit one of the explosive barrels? Yo, I think I'd rather have less health so it doesn't take a million years for them to kill me. Alright, the switch to first person does not help. What? What was that about? Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, shit. I can crawl under here. All right. Noted. Okay, so here's where I could escape to. Good luck getting in here while you're being chased, but... Alright, how to deal with this guy. Will you move? If he doesn't look away, I won't be able to hit him with the tranq gun. Okay, there. And I'm stuck. He does look away. Good. Oh, what's this? Mousetrap, huh? Place it in their way and they have it snap on their feet. All right, where the hell am I? Ah, here we are. Okay, you better turn around before the other guy gets back. All right. Fuck, 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 fuck.
No one here after all.
Okay. That only took an hour. How are we going to get him out of here?
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah, this has worked out so well for
I was sent
Sokolov
by
before.
Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
Where do you have a monocle?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word.
This guy does not have a Russian accent.
But we've got
He's
no
patterned
choice.
after an English
Get me out
butler.
of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of Gru. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
Well, ask Major Tom about
He's
it.
a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by
Well, he
rallying
managed to
the
stay in
anti-government
charge for
forces,
another couple
overthrowing
decades.
Khrushchev and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the GRU. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans.
Oh, it's
But that is
Gorbachev, not
enough to
Khrushchev,
satisfy
right.
him. Now
That
he's
was
plotting to
in the
seize the
80s.
super weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power.
Khrushchev was deposed only a couple months after this game takes place. Yeah, I mixed him up with Gorbachev, who was in charge in the 80s.
Says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me.
Well, maybe Volgin will show up and kill them all so we can get out of here.
Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come. I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
How am I going to get the? How am I going to escort this guy out?
By the way, your Russian is superb. Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Is that so? America is truly a frightening country.
Having second thoughts.
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
This is neither the time nor place for a monocle, Sokolov.
Major, this is Snake. Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokolov to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
I managed to
How am I going to get back out past them?
I see.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
Time Wi-Fi. How are we going to get out of here? I like how your camo is reflected in the cutscene. Oh, he thinks he can take whoever's coming. What are you going to do? Kamehameha? Where'd all the soldiers go? Oh, who was that?
Freeze!
Yeah, this is about how I expected this to go.
So this is the legendary boss.
Huh?
Huh? We meet at last.
Wait.
You're from the Ocelot unit.
Wait. No way.
What's a crew soldier doing here?
Soldier?
He's the Ocelot commander.
Ha! That's Major Ocelot to you. And don't you forget it.
Just shoot him. That'll save everybody a lot of trouble in 40 years.
Sokolov is ours. Now get out of here.
And Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
Where's your revolver? Oh, nice ricochet shot. Wait, did I get shot?
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the Gru.
Sokolov, take cover.
Boss fight time?
Huh. You're not the boss, are you?
Sure aren't. Excuse me? Right, a bunch of ninjas.
What is that stance? Huh. That gun.
Permission to laugh.
If you're not the boss, then die.
That's a lucky jam.
Major! Leave it! Shoot the other one! Whoa!
So, are you gonna kill any of these guys, Snake, or what? Was that guy having a seizure over there? Surprisingly pacifist, this Snake. Oh, tranquilizer dart, huh? Bullet lands in the gun.
Impossible. You ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do. But testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
This is Revolver Ocelot.
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Just stab him, Snake. Alright, looks like I gotta fucking track down Sokolov again. The cutscene ends, kill Ocelot yourself and see what happens. Okay.
Major, do you read me?
I read you. Snake, you alright?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokolov too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
part of an internal Soviet power struggle, according to Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU, between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgans.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I don't like it. Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.
All right. Well, I'll need an actual lethal weapon. We're gonna save before we do this.
Do you want to save? Snake, do you know the creature from the
Hey,
Black
you are
Lagoon?
all over the bee monster movies.
These scientists are investigating a place deep in the Amazon called the Black Lagoon, and they get picked off one after the other by this fishman thing. And there was this scene when the heroine is going for a swim, and the creature sneaks up on her from underwater. Oh, I thought my heart was going to stop. I mean, of course, the 3D effects in It Came from Outer Space were a lot more intense, but...
It wouldn't be referring to you coming from outer space, would it?
How rude! Why do you say that?
Because no one on Earth could be as charming.
Oh, okay. You turned that around fast,
Just a
Snake.
point, Snake. Be careful of what's around you when you're in the water. Just imagining you swimming in those jungle rivers makes me think of you being attacked by a fishman.
I appreciate the concern.
Fishmen aren't the only things that'll attack you in the water. Really be careful out there.
Okay.
And don't be attacking any pretty girls going for a swim.
Oh,
either.
like I'll find
Are you
those.
calling me a fishman?
You started it.
All right, we've saved. Okay. How do I stab him? First person. Okay, that doesn't do it. Oh, wasn't there a gun up here? That was not a gun. All right. Do I get a lethal weapon from one of these guys? I don't know where to find a lethal weapon, Crow. Oh wait, was it the thing under here? No, it looks like I got the thing under here. Maybe? Let's look around a little. It's not too important. Want me to spoil it? Sure. I assume you get a game over time paradox? Colonel Campbell calls you to chastise you for trying to change the future? Okay, that's fun. That's fun. I like that. I wish I could see that. Okay, alright, alright. This isn't as random as it sounds, as in Japanese, Campbell is voiced by the same guy who voiced Doc Brown in Back to the Future. Oh, fun. I'll get myself to continue in a minute, guys. I just need a sec. Yeah, I'm okay. I just find these games incredibly frustrating to play. So, I need a minute to get my head back in the right space to continue. Story's great. I like the story. Love the story. Story's fantastic. I would love to experience the story, but the gameplay is really frustrating to me. So I just need a sec. No, fortunately I'm headache free today. For what it's worth, you won't have to do much stealth for a while? Oh, okay. That is a relief, actually. Let's get this snake. Oh man, it's a shame to have to kill snakes. The paramedic could call before you leave. Right, okay. Stealth has been blown? Nah, everybody who knows I'm here is dead.
Baltic hornets are a variety of hornets that inhabit that area. The difference between them and other hornets is that they produce honey in their nests. Inside the nest are larvae, pupa, and adults.
I don't want to eat the larva. I don't want to eat hornets.
The honey you find inside the nest is delicious and full of nutrients. It's easy to digest and helps pep you up when you're feeling tired. In short, it's the perfect survival food. Honey can also be used as a burn ointment. When honey is applied to a burn, it creates a protective coating over the skin. When you knock down a hornet's nest, a burn ointment will appear along with it, so don't forget to pick it up. Of course, the hornets aren't going to give up their nest without a fight. If you knock a nest down, a large swarm of hornets will come flying out, so be careful.
There are hornets that make honey, I think. But I don't know if Baltic hornets are real, yeah.
I see you found a Yabloko Moloko.
Right, she's going through all the food I've
Yabloko
found.
It's a Russian name that roughly translates as milk apple. It's a type of star apple. The juice is thick and sweet, like milk, hence the name. And if you cut one in half lengthwise, you'll see a star-shaped ring radiating out from the center.
Hence the star apple.
Right. The star-shaped part has a gelatinous texture and is said to be especially tasty.
Sounds useful.
You're welcome.
For once.
Did you say something?
No, back to the mission.
Alright, you got something to say about Ocelot?
By the way, Snake.
What?
What was that little lecture back there?
lecture.
You were instructing the GRU commander, weren't you? Something about the first round or...
How are you listening in?
Yeah?
What was that supposed to mean?
Well, whenever he put a new clip in his gun, he'd always load the first round by hand, whether there was a round left in the chamber or not. It's a technique they teach in the Middle East. By making sure there's always a round in the chamber, you eliminate the risk of pulling the trigger with nothing to fire. He must have heard about it from someone or read it somewhere. In any case, he probably wanted to try it out for himself. And he was obviously motivated by vanity to show off his new technique. That's when you make mistakes. The battlefield is an unforgiving place. The only techniques you can rely on are the ones you've mastered through experience and practice.
Uh-huh. And what were you saying about him being more suited to revolvers?
When he fired, he was bending his elbow sharply to avoid the recoil. It looked like he wasn't aware he was doing it, but that habit can be either a fatal flaw or a gift.
What do you mean?
Automatic weapons use recoil to operate, so if you don't let the recoil hit you, it interferes with the operating cycle of the gun. Basically, he shouldn't be trying to avoid the impact like that. But with a revolver, there's no need to let the recoil hit you. Just the opposite. Avoiding the recoil lets you reduce the strain on your hand and arm. That kid might just be handy with a high-caliber revolver.
Handy? Are you listening to yourself?
What do you mean?
He's the enemy. Why are you giving him advice?
That is a pretty weird thing to do, Snake.
Snake.
I don't know. For some reason, I couldn't help but point it out to him.
Snake, are you all right?
Yeah.
Alright, well, we learned the boss is not answering her phone, so let's see what happens when I call her. No response. Okay. Okay, let's try to track down Sokolov. Stop putting your back to trees and shit, Snake. Oh my god, stop it. Why are you aiming your gun at him?
You okay?
Those men were from the Ocelot unit.
Spetsnaz?
Yes. The best crew has to offer. They're coming for me. I'm finished.
Nah, I'll take care of you.
I'll get you out of here, I promise. And we've got some of the best backup we could ask for.
I'll bet that was the plane dying. Oh. That's Metal Gear, actually.
That's what they were making you build.
Yep, that's Metal Gear.
The Shagohod. The treading behemoth. A tank capable of launching nuclear IRBMs.
It can launch nuclear missiles from that kind of terrain?
Oh, yes. And without support from friendly units.
A nuclear-equipped tank capable of operating solo.
A weapon.
Is that
To
thing
preempt
finished?
Metal Gear.
No, this is only the end of Phase 1. It won't be truly finished until we complete Phase 2.
Phase 2?
The weapon's true form. If it is completed and the Colonel gets his hands on it, it will mean the end of the Cold War.
The end of the Cold War?
Yes.
Become a hot
And
war.
then the Age of Fear will truly begin.
A world war?
I had no choice but to cooperate. I didn't want to die. I wanted to see my wife and child again in America.
Understandable.
Please, take me to America, quickly. They cannot complete it without my help.
Got it. Let's go.
Yeah, Snake's stance looks very uncomfortable. Just gets shot from behind. Careful, you'll fall. I already fell. Oh, I don't like the fog. Hello? I almost fell off the bridge. I got dropped over the side. Why are you here? I knew you'd be here eventually, but why are you here now? Whoa! What is in those?
Good work, Jack.
What are you doing here?
Sokolov comes with me.
Hello? Oh, jeez.
Hornets.
Alright, getting up to shenanigans immediately, huh? Who's this guy? Getting up to shenanigans this early in the game, huh, Hideo? He's a real pain. Oh, I think I've heard of this guy. This is the pain of I became the pain. I'm fucking covered in bees song fame.
I have waited long for this day.
That is not the voice I expected to come out of that guy.
We will fight with you once more. Welcome back, boss.
Oh!
Now that all 5 of us are together, it's time we go to the depths of hell itself.
The rain's bad for the bees.
It's raining blood.
Invisible Man?
Crying.
Who's this?
Kuwabara, Kuwabara.
This certainly is a cast of characters.
Ah, what a joyful scene.
Colonel Vogan.
Welcome to my country. And to my unit.
Volgan, like
Boss,
Volt.
what is this?
I'm defecting to the Soviet Union. Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Recoilless nuclear warheads. These will make a fine gift for me.
This can't be happening.
Who is
This
he?
can't be happening.
Another one of your disciples? Are we taking him with us?
No, this one is still just a child. Too pure for us Cobras. He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
What are you talking about?
Think you can pull the trigger?
Took his gun apart. Okay, that was slick. Oh, poked in the eyes. Oh, shit! There goes my arm. Ow!
He's seen my face. We can't let him live.
Careful, it'll detonate those warheads.
If Khrushchev finds out about this, we're finished. He must die.
Wait. He's my apprentice. I'll take care of him.
What are you gonna do? Kick me off the edge? How do I survive this?
You can't come with us.
What did you expect would happen, Snake?
The new blood has been rejected.
You never found the body. That means I can't die.
Are we done here?
Now, onto Sokolov's research facility.
Shagohod is ours.
Drift away. My place is with them now.
Well, that went well. Oh, I'm unarmed now, aren't I?
Snake, can you hear me?
That was Mayor Domino as Vulcan, huh?
Yeah. Just barely.
Snake, listen to me. You need emergency medical treatment. Can you move?
No.
You've got to get those wounds treated. Hang
Oh,
in there.
wounds treating tutorial, huh?
All right, let's get you fixed up. Paramedic?
Okay, Snake. Just relax and it'll all be over before you know it. Stay with me. I've seen people in worse shape before. Think you can handle it?
No.
Major. The boss. She's defected.
We'll talk about that later. First, we've got to get you patched up.
Okay, here we go.
Tutorial time.
First, open the survival viewer with the start button. If you select cure, you can start the treatment. Healing is divided into treatment using medicine with the item window button and surgical treatment using the weapon window button. Your injuries include a fractured left elbow and rib bone and lacerations on your upper arms, right elbow, and abdomen.
Lots to cure on this first
They need
tutorial.
to be fixed using surgical treatment. Move the healing cursor with the left analog stick to the affected part of your body. Once you've selected the affected area, hold the weapon window button and use the left analog stick to select the medical item and then press the enter button. With this method, you can use items to help your recovery process. To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area with a fastener and then wrap it in bandages. That should do it. For lacerations, you'll need disinfectant to clean the wound, sutures to stitch it up, styptic to slow the flow of blood, and bandages to wrap the wound. If you do everything I mentioned...
This is a lot to take in.
Understood?
No, I don't understand. I didn't memorize
Stay
all
with
that.
me. Go into the survival viewer and treat those wounds.
Whoops. Wrong button. Okay. Bleeding, no bandage applied, not yet disinfected. Okay. Venom poisoning. Effective for treating stomach aches, treating colds, food poisoning. Okay, alright. Surgery, okay. Oh my god. Alright. Removing bullets and arrows. Treating cuts. Do I have disinfectant? Disinfectant. Okay. Okay. And bandage. Suffering from a deep cut and bleeding. Oh, I needed to suture. Wait. That's for burns. Oh, there we go. Okay. Suture. Disinfectant. Okay. Bone fracture, no bandage applied. Okay, bandage, septic, disinfectant, suture kit. Okay. Bandage, splint. Where are we going to find all these resources? Ooh, 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 ooh! Ah! Ooh! The next R1 prompt, look to your left. Okay. We are in no shape to keep going.
Good job, Snake.
We're coming to get you now. Just stay where you are. We'll drop a recovery balloon. Can you set it up?
Okay, so we're getting out of here. What was I just looking at? I missed it. Oh, damn.
Shagohod.
And he has piercing eyes. I'll leave it up to you whether to tell me what I missed. It's a skeleton in a sweater who turns out to be important later. Oh, okay. What was that hissing?
Excellent. A great success. Thanks to the boss and her cobras, I have both Sokolov and the Shagohod.
What, did she fart?
What are we going to do with the girl?
Who is she?
Apparently she's Sokolov's woman.
You stole his wife from America? Or is this a mistress he took while he was back in Russia?
She's a nice catch. I'll take her. Not so fast, my dear. A kiss of death?
Are you KGB?
We may be able to use her. She has spunk.
Yeah, spunk's a word for it.
Shall we take her back to the base?
Perhaps we should. We have no further use for Sokolov's research facility. I think it's time I gave this marvelous new toy a try.
Don't you only have one of those?
Even if they are our enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger. It'll be our friend, the American defector.
You're going to nuke your fellow Russians?
Remember the Alamo.
Colonel!
What does that have to do with anything? Well, Snake's dead. This is the part of the explosion that lights him on fire, and then he gets blasted apart by the blast wave. Weapon he fired is called the David Crockett IRL. Ugh. Snake immediately dies of radiation poisoning. Yes, I will save. Oh, is this going to be several years later?
With darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill.
Interesting. So there's a big time skip since it showed the moon landing.
And I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else.
Davy Crockett was a real weapon made by the U.S. military during the Cold War, a mortar cannon that fired nukes. It was never seriously deployed because its firing range was shorter than the warhead's blast radius, so it's a suicide weapon. Interesting. So that really should have killed Volgan and crew.
Someday you go through the rain, and someday you'll feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive.
Someday you'll feed on a tree frog? I don't want to feed on a tree frog.
I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I lie to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
This is kind of a Bond intro, isn't it?
I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
One week later. Oh, I thought it would have a bigger time skip. Arctic Ocean airspace.
Currently flying over the Arctic Ocean, altitude 30,000 feet, approaching Soviet airspace. Arriving at the designated drone launch point. Drone oil pressure and voltage are nominal. Payload oxygen supply is nominal. Power supply to payload antifreeze system shows no problems. No gusts. All systems go for drone detachment.
Snake, we can't risk a halo jump this time around. Airspace security has gotten tighter since we were last here. We can't get as close to the ground as we did during the Virtuous mission. So instead, we'll be using one of our newest weapons. Snake, you're being given an honor on par with Alan Shepard. This is our last chance.
Oh, who was Alan Shepard? What did he test?
Back in a hospital bed again, waiting for the firing squad.
It's only been a week. How am I healed? I can't possibly have healed enough in a week.
So how does it feel to be a patient in one of the most advanced ICUs in the world?
Oh, okay, here we
Do me a
go.
favor and tell the suits about visiting hours. I'll never get better with them assaulting me day and night with their questions.
Must be part of the top brass's inquiry.
More like an interrogation. According to them, I'm a traitor and an accomplice to the boss's defection.
They're just looking for a scapegoat.
Oh,
Does
first
that mean
American
they're
in
after
space, right.
Let's just say neither one of us is going to be made a national hero out of this.
Does this mean Fox is going to die?
No. This fox is still one step ahead of the house.
Oh.
The reason I came to see you today, Jack, it's time for Fox to clear its name.
What are you talking about?
The situation has changed. We've still got a chance to come out of this one alive.
Yeah, what kind of chance?
Don't get too excited. Here, have a cigar. It's Cuban. This morning, I had a meeting with the CIA.
They decided when they're going to execute us?
No. Something even bigger. Yesterday, the White House received an unexpected call.
From Volgan, I'll bet.
President Johnson, Yes, I hear you, Mr. Chairman.
It was a hotline call from Khrushchev to President Johnson.
From the head of the Soviet Union?
That's right.
A few days ago, one of our country's main design bureaus, OKB-754, was destroyed in a nuclear explosion. At about the same time, our anti-aircraft radar picked up a signature that appeared to come from one of your military aircraft.
Oh, fuck.
Does any of this sound familiar to you? In retaliation, I have placed our armed forces on secondary alert. Depending on your response, I may be left with no choice but to order the military to maximum alert and unleash Armageddon. With the help of your predecessor, I was able to survive the Cuban incident. But my power is not as great as it once was. If I am to survive this crisis, I must have your full cooperation.
I should have contacted you myself. Did you know that one of our soldiers defected to your country a week ago?
No.
So you haven't heard then. The man who arranged the defection was a GRU colonel by the name of Yevgeny Borisovich Volgin.
Is that what Johnson sounded like? Was that his accent?
Faction. Go on. Who is the soldier?
Her name is the Boss.
Yes, but what's her name?
During World War II, she was the one who led us to victory in that war. In Russia, you know her as Voyevoda.
Shit.
You mean...
Are you conjuring...
The Boss?
Are you conjuring World War II soldiers to credit with the victory?
Yes, that's the one. And she took 2 miniature nuclear shells along with her.
The Boss took 2 miniature nuclear shells.
I'm afraid so. I believe they were a gift for her new hosts. The Davy Crockett Atomic Battle Group delivery system was completed 2 years ago. Serious problems were found with the launcher's range and precision. Although they were mass-produced, they've never been deployed in battle.
But Sokolov's research facility was completely wiped out. The whole area is polluted.
I can only offer you my deepest condolences over this terrible tragedy.
So, the Boss, with Colonel Volgin's help, stole 2 experimental nuclear shells and took them with her as gift when she defected.
I'm glad you're keeping up,
Then,
Khrushchev.
Shortly thereafter, Sokolov's design lab, a top-secret military research facility, was destroyed by one of these weapons. Am I right so far?
Yes, that's correct.
And the American government denies any involvement in the affair. Is that right as well?
That's correct. We were not involved in any way.
Then what was a U.S. military aircraft doing on our radar screen? It was clearly in a violation of our airspace. And yet you say it was not acting under your orders.
That's correct.
Oh, the flags
You
are on
expect
point.
me to believe that this was all the work of a single soldier?
I don't know what else to tell you.
The Army insists that this is all a ploy on your part.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Our government had nothing to do with it.
And I would like dearly to believe you. However, I'm afraid my power over the military has weakened since the Cuban incident. I will need some kind of proof that this was not the action of the American government.
How would we prove that?
1 week. You must catch the Boss yourselves and recover the remaining nuclear device.
Fair enough.
Then, you must find some way to...
Wait, are you inviting us to operate within your
Prove
country?
our innocence.
Yes, preferably something painful. Prove to me that this is not merely another one of your tricks.
The Boss should be close to Colonel Volgin. How about a little co-action?
I would not expect too much if I were you. The political situation here is unstable. And Colonel Volgin is a member of the Brezhnev faction, which seeks to topple my government. 1 week. You have only 1 week. And if it is not too much to ask, do something about Volgin as well.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing. It means nothing. Call it a modest gentleman's agreement to ensure our continued relationship.
I'm down for killing him.
What if we can't prove our innocence?
Then I will be unable to restrain the military. I will be ousted, and they will seek their revenge.
A nuclear attack on the United States?
I leave the disposal of this situation entirely to your discretion, Mr. President.
Disposal?
If you fail, it will mean the beginning of a new world war.
To put it simply, in order to avoid a full-scale nuclear conflict, we have to prove that America was not involved in that explosion.
And eliminating the boss ourselves will prove America's innocence?
Right.
I'm not sure that's how
Higher-ups
politics
decided
works,
you're
but
the only
okay.
one capable of pulling this off. You were her last apprentice. Screw this one up, and we'll both be 6 feet under. There's no choice.
Are the Russians going to be helping us?
The KGB has promised to lend us one of their communications satellites so that you and I can talk to each other.
That's it?
They've also put us in touch with a couple of insiders.
Insiders?
There was a defection in September 1960. Do you remember it?
You mean the 2 NSA codebreakers who went over to the Soviet Union?
Precisely. Since then, they've apparently been training...
Sorry, I haven't been looking at the top right corner of the screen.
Adam and Eva. I've been told that Adam has infiltrated Vulcan's ranks. We've also arranged for him to provide you with an escape route. You'll need to rendezvous with him when you get there.
Control. Unidentified aircraft detected. Altitude 30,000 feet. It's fast. Estimated airspeed exceeding Mach 3. Bearing south.
What was
About
that?
to
The
lose it.
Blackbird? The Blackbird stealth aircraft, I think that was? Or the Bluebird? Something. That was the Blackbird, okay. Okay, that definitely would have killed Snake at that velocity. He definitely shouldn't have been healed by now. It's only been a week.
This is Snake. Do you read me?
Loud and clear. Glad to see you landed safely.
I got blown pretty far off target.
Snake, let's go over your mission objectives one more time. Rescue Sokolov. Find out what's happened to the Shagohod, then destroy it. And finally, eliminate the boss.
Eliminate the boss?
This mission will be codenamed Operation Snake Eater.
Because I'll be taking on the boss in our Cobra unit, right?
Don't forget
Also
about
because he
Colonel
expects you to devour any pythons you find.
I know, but that was the Kremlin's demand.
Demand? You mean it wasn't just a request? What's it to us if the Khrushchev regime is threatened by the Colonel and his faction?
If supporting the current regime helps us avoid a nuclear exchange, then that's what we'll do.
And what are the CIA's demands?
Oh God, cinema
Our
sins.
priorities are the rescue of Sokolov and the destruction of the Shagohod.
So annoying.
Roger that, Major Tom.
Hold on, Snake.
What now?
I'm changing my codename. It turns out Tom wasn't the most auspicious choice.
What do you mean?
Well, the truth is, when I chose my codename, I picked the wrong one.
The wrong one?
Wrong one?
Did you ever see the movie The Great Escape? Came out last year.
Oh, must have missed that one.
Anyway, it's based on a true story about prisoners who escaped from a POW camp in Nazi Germany. The prisoners dig 3 tunnels as part of their plan, but the Nazis find 2 of the tunnels before they're finished. The prisoners succeed in escaping by using the last remaining tunnel. The names of those 3 tunnels were Dick, Harry, and Tom.
I get it. You used the name of the tunnel they escaped in as your code name because you thought it would bring you good luck.
Yes, that's exactly right. At least, that was the plan.
I actually haven't seen that film.
But
I
got
hear
the
it's
name
good.
wrong. The one they escaped in was Harry. Tom was one of the unlucky tunnels that was discovered by the Nazis before it was finished. I watched the movie again just to make sure.
Important
In fact, I
research
even
in
ordered
the week
actual
you've
film
had.
From the movie company.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the greatest name to use. So what should I call you?
You know, let's just use Zero, like we've been doing all along.
All right, then. Major Zero it is. We'll start over from square one.
From square 0.
Oh,
My
har
frequency
har.
is 140.85. Oh, I almost forgot. Paramedic is with us again on this mission.
Is this her last chance, too?
If we fail, she'll have her medical license revoked. It's more or less the same kind of fate. Her frequency is the same as during the Virtuous mission, 145.73. She'll be recording your mission data as well, just like the last time. That frequency is also the same, 140.96. And there's one more person on your support team. His name is Mr. Sigint.
Sigint?
He's an expert on the latest in weapons and equipment technology. He'll be going up against some of the world's
Oh,
most
is this the
advanced
guy who tells me
weapons
about my
to
camo?
infiltrate the research facility. If you have any questions, just ask him. His frequency is 148.41.
Mr. Sigint. Got it.
Adam, your KGB contact, is waiting for you at the abandoned factory up ahead.
The same factory Sokolov was being held in last week.
Yes, meet
Didn't
up
that
with Adam
factory get
first.
blown
He's
up
cleared
with
the
a
way
nuke?
for you to rescue Sokolov.
How will I know this Adam guy when I see him?
You'll know once you reach the factory. The whole area's been polluted by the fallout from that nuclear
And
blast.
you're sending me into polluted fallout?
Come close. The password is, who are the Patriots? And Lali Lule Lo.
Oh.
Lali Lule Lo. Gotcha.
Bringing that in.
You've been equipped with a 45 for this mission. Be careful, it's noisy.
I thought standard Fox procedure was procure on-site weapons acquisition.
The circumstances are different this time. You're now on an official mission for the United States government. It will be necessary to make your presence known to a certain extent. To the Khrushchev regime at the very least. But remember, this is still a sneaking mission. Snake, if you fail this mission, it will mean an all-out nuclear war. Keep that in mind and proceed with extreme caution.
Understood. Commencing Operation Snake Eater.
Snake Eater. Okay. All right. Let's talk to Sigint and see what he sounds like.
Yo, you're Snake, aren't you?
And you're Sigint?
Not what I expected.
Another.
I heard
Cool.
that you're an expert on weapons, equipment, and cutting-edge technology.
Close. I am the expert on weapons, equipment, and cutting-edge technology.
Ah.
I'm the guy that designed your trank gun, active sonar, and motion detector. If you want to know anything about weapons or equipment you find in the field, just send me a message and ask. Later.
All right, let's save. Crow, can we call it here? I'm annoyed and frustrated and not looking forward to doing more right now. Can we just add 2.5 hours to what I owe you and
I visited
do
you in the
more next
hospital.
month?
You were still unconscious, though.
Then you must have seen me naked.
Yeah, but you were all wrapped up in bandages and tubes, so I couldn't do anything but look.
Better luck next time.
Let's hope so. But seriously.
Okay, at least she's
don't
flirting
forget that
back.
you were like that until just yesterday. In fact, you really shouldn't even be on this mission. Keep an eye on your stamina gauge. If you start to run low, don't push yourself. eat something to replenish your stamina. And try not to get yourself hurt. If you're wounded or get bitten by a venomous animal, go into the survival viewer immediately and treat yourself using Cure.
Yeah. I can see you still know how to nag.
You're welcome. And I can see you still don't know when to keep your mouth shut.
Man, you are bad at flirting, Snake.
By the way, I heard you're going to lose your medical license if this mission fails.
Yes, there was talk of that, but the mission won't fail, will it?
Of course not.
Good. I believe in you. But you know what? I really don't care about my medical license.
Why not?
Didn't they use that to force you to participate in this operation?
No, I volunteered.
Why?
So that I could watch over you. Snake, you're the best agent I've ever seen. But you push yourself too hard. You're reckless. Someone has to stop you from getting into trouble. To make sure you and the boss don't kill each other. So that's why
he's absolutely going to kill the boss.
You couldn't ask for a better guardian angel than me, right?
Thanks.
Stop right there. You can thank me when you get back.
All right.
All right, let's save. My first Friday or Sunday? Excuse me. Friday I'm going to be at PortCon. Let me see Sunday. I am free Sunday. We can do more of this on Sunday if you want. All right.
Okay, good luck, Snake.
Thanks.
Sorry for ending this a little early, guys. I'm just very frustrated. These games frustrate me. They're not really my style of game. And I think the way they're implemented is frustrating. But I'll keep playing. I'll keep going. The story's great. Love the story. Anything you want to be doing for the rest of the night? I might stream a little Indivisible or one of the other games I'm looking to check out. But I'm going to cool off a little first if I do stream at all. So that's going to be it for right now. I'll read my schedule and get off. Tomorrow is going to be Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward for a patron. Thursday will be The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Friday and Saturday I'm going to be at PortCon. Sunday, I guess, will be more Metal Gear Solid 3. Monday will be more Zelda. And next Tuesday will be Inscription, where I'm going to check that out finally after a couple of years of wanting to. So yeah, that's the upcoming week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next time.